Hey everyone, this is Teacher Kim, and in this video I'll be sharing to you the Module 6, which is Analyzing, Interpreting, and Drawing Conclusion from the Data. So without further ado, let's get started. So at the end of this video presentation, you are expected to utilize appropriate statistical measures in analyzing and interpreting data, and draw conclusion from graphical and tabular data. So as you know, statistics as defined is the collection, organization, analysis, and interpretation of data in a systematic manner. So in the previous modules, we have learned how to collect and organize data, right? So in this video, we are going to analyze, interpret, and subsequently draw conclusion from the data gathered. So here are some tips on how to analyze, interpret, and conclude data that have been collected and organized. So for the analysis, decide which statistical measure is appropriate to use to draw meaningful results. And for the interpretation, find the relationship of the percentage, average, or variability of data. So explain patterns and trends that is present in data analysis. You will know that later as we go on to our lesson. And for the conclusion, summarize main points and significant results. Okay, let's have this example. So the management of an amusement park is deciding whether they should open the amusement park on weekends or weekdays. So the table shows the number of visitors using each ride in a period of 1 week to help the management decide. So we have here the table, so day, weekday, and weekend. So tower drop, roller coaster, Ferris wheel, bumper cars, carousel, with a total of 977 in weekdays. And in weekend, we have a total of 1,190. So, to help the management decide, let us answer the following questions. So, what is the appropriate measure of central tendency to be used? As we have here the table, we have the average. So, average, weekday and weekend. So, mean, we have the 195. And for the weekend, we have 238. For the median, we have 154. And for the weekend, median, we have 238, and for the mode, we don't have a mode. So for the answer for number 1, the most appropriate would be the median, since there are extreme values in the weekdays. So you will know later on as we go on to our lesson why is it the most appropriate measure of central tendency to be used in number 1 in this table is median. Okay. So second question we have, what is the average number of visitors during the weekday, during the weekend? So as you can see in the table or the table above, so the average number of visitors during the weekday is 154, and during the weekend is 238. And for question number 3 we have, what is the range of the number of visitors during the weekdays, during the weekends? Again, to solve for the range, we simply subtract the highest value to the lower value. So for here, the range of visitors during weekdays is 180 because 290 minus 110, we have 180. And the range of visitors during the weekends is 7. Again, to solve for the range, we simply subtract the highest value of the data to the lowest value of the data. So what will be our conclusion based on the table we have here? So for the conclusion, thus, the management should open the amusement park during weekends. Why is it weekends? Because as we can see here in the table, diba, in weekends, we have a lot of visitors, or we have more visitors coming during these days. So there are consistent number of visitors per ride. That is why our conclusion is the management should open the amusement park during weekends because there are more visitors coming during these days. So there are consistent numbers of visitors per ride. As you can see naman in the table, we have a lot of more visitors during the weekend. In addition, to know the appropriate measure of central tendency to be used, follow the table below. So we have here the guide. So type of data, if our type of data is nominal, I know you are familiar with this one since it is already discussed in module 1, right? The type of data. If our type of data is nominal, so the appropriate measure of central tendency to be used is the mode. While if our type of data is ordinal, so the appropriate measure of central tendency to be used is the median. If the type of data is interval or ratio but no extreme values, so the appropriate measure of central tendency to be used is mean. But if our type of data is interval or ratio with extreme values, just like now we have the example we have earlier, that is why we will use the median. Okay? So how to interpret different types of graphs? So we have here first pie chart, second we have the line graph, third we have the bar graph, and lastly we have the histogram. So as you can see, the bar graph and histogram is kinda the same, right? So but when we use the bar graph, so it is to compare discrete or categorical variables in a graphical format. But in histogram, it depicts the frequency distribution of variables in dataset. Again, in histograms, it visualizes quantitative data or numerical data, whereas bar charts or bar graph display categorical variables. So that's the difference between the two. So interpret the following graphs. We have number 1. According to PSA, the 5 major crops produced in Central Visayas are corn, palay, coconut, banana, and mango. So the pie charts below shows the number of farms that produce each crop. So as you can see here, percentage of crop producing farms, we have mango, we have 12%. Corn, we have 24%. Palay, we have 10%. Coconut, we have 25%. And banana, we have 29%. So for question number 1, which crop is produced in most farms? So what is the highest percentage based on the pie chart we have here? So our answer is the Central Visayas has more farms that produce bananas compared to any other crop. As you can see, banana has the highest percentage, right? Which is 29%. So number 2, we have which crop is produced in least number of farms. Least, what is the smallest value or percentage we have here in our pie chart? So it has the least farm produced is the palay, which is 10%. So if there are 1,000 farms in Central Visayas, so how many farms produce? So for corn, how many farms produce in corn? So if there are 1,000 farms in Central Visayas, then 240% farms produce corn. How to solve? Why is it 240 farms produce corn? Because when we multiply 1,000 times the corn, which is 24%, again, 1,000 times 24% is 240. So how about palay? So 100 farms produce palay because 1,000 times 10% or 1,000 times 0.10 is equal to 100. So for coconut, we have 25%. So 1,000 times 25% or 1,000 times 0.25. So it is 250. And for the banana, so 1,000 times 29%, we have 290. And for the mango, we have 12% times 1,000, we have 120. So for number 4, what does the number of farms tell us in terms of logistical needs? So the banana producing farms accounts for more than 1/4 of the crop producing farms. So more bananas are being produced. Thus, the banana producing farms need more logistics compared to all other crop producing farms. So second is coconut, next is corn, followed by mango, and last for the list is the palay. So first here, what is the highest percentage? 29, right? Banana, 29%. Second, we have the coconut, which is 25%. Next is corn, we have 24%. Mango, we have 12%. And last is we have palay, which is 10%. Okay, for number 2, we have below is a 10-day forecast of humidity in Cebu City. So do you ever wonder what made you feel hot and sticky no matter how you want to cool off? So Philippines, being a tropical country, is also a humid country. So when we say humidity, it is the amount of water vapor in the air. So if there is a lot of water vapor in the air, so humidity will be high. So when you sweat, it does not dry off easily because there is already too much water vapor in the air. So here we have a line graph. So we have here the question. So we have here May 7, May 8, May 9, May 10, May 11, May 12, May 13, May 14, 15, 16. So these are the dates. And the humidity level, we have 69, 69.5, 70, 70.5, and so on. So for question number 1, what days are the most humid? So what is the highest here? So as you can see in our line graph, we have the highest on what month? We have May 9 and May 10 at 72% humidity. So we can answer these questions referring to our line graph above, okay? So second, we have what days are the least humid? So when we say least, the lowest value or the lowest percentage in our line graph. So May 7, May 13, and May 16 least humid at 70% humidity. So third question, we have what is the average humidity? So to solve that, so our mean, we have 70.9, which is or 71%. For our median, we have 71%. For our mode, we have 71%. So based on the median, median and mode, the average humidity is at 71%. We simply add all the values again to solve for the mean. Again, we simply add all the values we have here and divide it by how many days, which is 10, right? So 70 plus we have May 7, we have 70%. In our May 9, we have May 8, we have 71. May 9, we have 72. May 10, we have 72. If you add all those numbers and divide it by 10, it will result to 70.9 or 71, which is the average humidity for this line graph. For number 4, is it good to be out in the sun for a long time? So given the average humidity of 71%, so it is not good to be out in the sun for too long, especially during the warmest part of the day. So humidity is dangerous when paired with extreme heat, which can cause headaches and dizziness, as what we have experiencing right now, right? Okay, for number 3, some of the leading social media platforms that are used in the Philippines today include YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So a group of 500 people is interviewed and asked about their top 1 preferred social media platform. So check out the bar graph and answer the questions that follow. So here, the title of our bar graph, preferred social media platforms. So for our respondents, we have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, and 140. For our social media platform, we have YouTube, 120 respondents. Facebook, we have 85 respondents. Messenger, we have 105 respondents. Instagram, we have 80 respondents. Twitter, we have 60 respondents. And TikTok, we have 50 respondents. So for question number 1, which social media platform is most preferred? Least preferred. So the most preferred is YouTube and the least preferred is TikTok. As you can see in our bar graph, so the highest value we have is 120, which is the YouTube, and the lowest value we have is 50, which is TikTok. So second question, we have what is the range of users in the different social media platforms? Again, to solve for the range, we simply subtract highest value to the lowest value. So highest value here we have 120, which is YouTube, minus TikTok, which is 50. So the answer is 70. So 120 minus 50, 70. So the range of users in the different social media platforms is 70. So for third question, what percentage of the respondents prefer Instagram? So the answer for this one, again, what is the number of Instagram we have here? 80, right? So if we add 120 plus 85 plus 105 plus 80 plus 60 plus 50, it will result to 500 because 500 people are interviewed, right? So to solve for the percentage of the respondents prefer Instagram, so Instagram here is 80, right? So 80 divided by 500, so it will result to 0.16 or 16%. Okay, let's try this activity and answer the questions that follows. So direction, we have to analyze, interpret, and draw conclusions. So do as instructed and answer the questions that follow. So we have here the pie chart, right? So the title of our pie chart is Number of Books Borrowed for the Month of February. So for fiction books, we have 12%, math, we have 18%, science, we have 16%, Filipino, we have 9%, English, we have 10%, history, we have 12%, arts, we have 5%, physical education, we have 4%, home education, we have 8%, and lastly, we have livelihood education, which is 6%. So for question number 1, what type of books do library visitors borrow most of the time? So based here in our pie chart, so what is the highest percentage we have? What subject? Okay, what book? So the answer is math, which is 18%. So second question, which is the least borrowed book in the school library? So what is the lowest value or the lowest percentage based on this pie chart? We have 4%, which is the physical education. So third question, we have how many history books were borrowed in February? So as you can see here, history, we have 12%. So if the book in the pie chart are all the books in school library, so what kind of books are you going to add to the collection and why? So for me personally, I would choose math. Since math is my major, so I want to know more about mathematics. And second, I want to choose fiction books. I want to read fiction books.